Often I ponder the question of how unique religion was, viewing this through natural philosophy and such. If a human requires fire to cook food, and fire is difficult to start up, well, they make the flame sacred and it keeps burning forever. An example of this natural philosophy would be Zoroastrianism, or in the case of Christianity, if you want order in society that results in less civil disobedience and more mercy and piety from your people, that would be the Romans. If one is to understand the natural order of religion and how it affects our human societies, we must understand the cultural dependence of said society. Therefore, religion is inherently unique in majority of aspects. It is written a history of previous generations attempting to explain to the future generations how to live and preserve themselves. Such beliefs as Taylor and his interpretation of the earth's sacredness, our opinion of the earth and what it provides to us, the core of paganism is to worship the gifts provided by the earth, thus creating gods around individual vegetations and materials. There was a sense of care for the world, and paganism very much accents that belief. The earth is sacred because the earth provides. This type of thought can also be attributed to civic religion and the idea that the state or political party is sacred as it provides. Well, for anyone who's listening in, what does it provide? It provides the means to get food, water, security, and shelter more efficiently. Asante and Wegley speak about the importance of African faith, culture, and heritage to native Africans. But does all religion benefit people equally? Or does it go against core cultural values and in the end destroy certain groups? Wegley, when asking many African people why they circumcise their daughters, they would often reply with Mucha mila ne mutoa, which means one who abandons her culture is a slave. This is from page 254. It is the natural belief within the culture that to be closer to one's ancestors, they must complete this ritual. But not just that, no. Also, to be closer to one's own gender, and in some Christian cases, to be closer to Jesus. As we know, he was circumcised. Now, Ascent proceeds to argue that the return of African religion, the key being their ancestral and African innate tribalist manner of how the societies of African countries are more communal in nature. Christianity is too individualist, according to Ascent. The way to be a better African society is by taking up the African gods again and following the traditional and communal values of their forefathers. What is observed within the observation of the two within the African gods is the notion of uniqueness within culture. Now, even though Christianity does not explicitly say to circumcise, the African communities do it prior to the one God and continue to follow the practice. Now, Ascent also makes the statement that until an African leader publicly acknowledges, honors, and prays to an African god, we Africans continue to be viewed as pathetic imitators of others, never having believed in ourselves. This comes from page 234 of the text. Now, stating the African community's leaders must guide them back to their traditional ways for prosperity. In the case of religious identity, religion can become one's identity even if not religious. Such examples would be the IRA in Protestants and Catholics. It didn't matter if you were actually Protestant or Catholic. It was just the lineage of loyalty you followed. The ancestry of one's theoretical practice, in summary. Jose Cabzon spoke that religion is a view that is not unique. This comes from page 223 of the text. I at first disagreed with the statement, but have learned to agree with the reasoning behind it. He is stating that ethnicity to play a bigger part in the role than religion when it comes to the identity of the individual. Now, I believe that to be true, but the values of ethnicity are based on the basis of spiritual of the spirituality of their ancestors and the religion in which they follow today. Now, the basis of religious identity is the reason we love certain things as much as we do. Natural culture creates spirituality. Spirituality becomes religion. Religion becomes culture, and culture becomes natural culture, and then the cycle continues. Now, Cole enforced the idea that land does not belong to us, saying, "You belong to the land, and the land does not belong to you." This comes from page 267 of the text. We have continuously harmed our lands and ruined the earth in which we in the past had cared for so much. Now, the revival of spirituality is no shock. We wish to change our ways. As he has said, we are all kernels of the same cob. Page 265. What I have learned from the course in this semester, from the texts, is the cycle in which religion takes, and how whatever religion or spirituality we choose to follow is always unique to our situation. If the world starts dying, we follow nature. If the world becomes overly political, we worship parties. If the world wants order and explanation, then follow organized faith. The cycle of religion, natural culture creates is spirituality, and spirituality becomes religion, religion becomes culture, culture becomes natural culture, and the cycle will continue. The cycle is completely unique in the sense that it helps humanity evolve and overcome the situations in which it undertakes. Religion, in the context of the cycle, is a tool in which humans use to overcome the impossible. In whatever the situation may be, our faith will adapt. Well, that's all for the podcast today, so thank you for tuning, and have a nice day.